always tell them during the campaign time, if you're given those handouts, they won't help us. Today you'll get that money, you'll hit off, and it's done. What about the next 5 years? So I'd like to encourage them. Let us choose leaders who can serve us, not leaders who are becoming like a boss and they disappear from our crown. So I'd like to encourage even the youths out there. Don't get disappointed. Pull up, go for those seats, vie. Okay. They belong to us all. And I request the Kenyans to follow the Constitution, because with the Constitution it will help us. We'll exercise our democracy in the right way. Okay. But if we say that we have our Constitution but we are not exercising, we won't even achieve what we want. Okay. So to my fellow youth, I'd like to tell them, come 2027, we are coming back with or without handouts, because we understand that we have to change this Kenya. Okay. It's not about handouts, it's about development. Okay. Yeah.
Jose, given the example you have told us of the people you met, na wale kuambia tuacheka kitu. So we have 2026 before the campaigns officially begin. Sure. How much do you think in now your jurisdiction, for instance, Kariobangi North, penye umezaliwa, you understand the people, when you boy amta, how much do you think of civic education can you do to enlighten them, as she pointed out, so that they understand the long-term benefits than the short-term of getting the 500 bob, which will be a matter of 1-2 days, it's over, but the complaints will keep on piling. Sure. But allow them to understand the long-term of good leadership, in your view, at Kariobangi.
Okay. Wahenga walisema kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa. Yeah. So mimi kama mwanarika niko katika vikundi kadhaa, several community-based organizations, and one of them is Kariobangi Social Justice Center, where we talk, we advance courses in terms of human rights and mambo na civic education. And I'm also a member at Mama Zetu CBO, ambayo tunadeal na mambo na dignified motherhood. Pia Simama CBO, mahali pia tunasomeshwa mambo na political education. So I'll be a front runner in those community-based organizations in terms of promoting youth empowerment in terms of consistent capacity building or lobbying for resources to capacity build our organizations, community-based organizations, so that they can be used as tools of change in our community. Because through these CBOs, if 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 members are trained, they can wanaweza pitisha ujumbe kama hule ama masomo kama yale pale chini mashinani. Alafu sisi kama Kariobangi Social Justice Center, we have programs na pia tuko na pillars in our CBO, na kuna moja inaitwa Good Governance and Social Accountability pillar. Na hapo sasa ndiyo nimekuwa inspired, hapo ndiyo nimekuwa molded, nikajengwa into a leader. Ndiyo maana I know the right ethics, the right norms in terms of engaging in politics. So I'll use myself through those community-based organizations to pass the right message to the youths and maybe any other individual who might be interested in running for a political seat.
Amos, should that be the general consensus then among you, the young people, given your experiences, and the many others who we have hosted here, belong to political parties, others are independent, others are willing to contest? Should that be the general consensus then, that the war now is winning the people back first, and make them understand that it's not about the short-term gains but the long-term prosperity that they ought to understand?
To my fellow youths and those who are aspiring to be on the ballot in 2027, I want to categorically say this, that like Joshua and Caleb in the Bible, who were sent to go in the promised land to check kwanza waone huko kuko vipi.
Confirm.
Kuja, confirm wakasema, huko tumeona giza, huko kuna milima, kuna watu warefu, kuna watu wakubwa. Here I come, Amos Katana, who ran an independent, issue-based, clear messaging campaign, peaceful campaign in Magarini. Here I come, nawaambia kwamba vijana ni kutafu. It's so tough. Now, it's not tough because it's undoable, ama it's unthinkable. It's tough because I ran against strong systems. These systems wamejeka pamoja conservative mechanism so that like wanaweza control. Now wameunda the thinking. They even control how the people think. So for us to win this war, ndio nimekuja nikiwaambia it's tough, but hata Joshua na Caleb waliwaambia huko pia there is hope. With God we can go there. Mimi nataka kuwaambia with a clear thinking, independent thinking and long-term community involvement, we can win this war. Kwa sababu ukiangalia wale watu si ati hawakutaka kupiga kura Magarini, si ati hawakutaka mtu mzuri. Mimi nilikampeni huko 60, siko hata na pesa, walinisikiza na wengine hata walinisaidia kusongea. Lakini hata yule aliyenichangia 200 bob akisema, "Hey my son, please proceed." Hiyo siku ya vote alinisaliti because that feeling, like that system iliundwa pale, artificial creation ya thinking, iko deep sana. And for us to win this to the youth, I want to say that let's start early. Let's invest in the community early, starting from now. Tuongee na hawa watu vilivyo, tuwaambie, because for me nilikuwa nauliza watu manifesto yako ni gani. Mimi niwaambie watu wa Magarini, si ati sikuwa na manifesto, lakini what I was saying nikiwa kwa campaign, nilikuwa nataka kuambia kwa the mandate of a member of parliament ni ku represent the people. And if the power is given to the people, I'm not the most educated person in Magarini so that I can say mimi nitaleta ideas pale. I'm here to take the voice of Magarini nipeleke kule parliament na any other places or opportunities. So wale watu wa Magarini wakisema they want this, my duty is to take their cries, to take their laughs and everything kupeleka kule. So like tukiwaambia kwamba our new system tukileta, we will change from people-centered ama tuseme leaders-centered leadership, ile yenye ni hao viongozi wana control, but we are taking power back to the people. They will control everything. They will determine hii CDF ikikuja tutafanyia nini sisi kama wananchi, na hii land iko hapa ama hii resource iko hapa, hizi pineapples iko hapa, tunafanyia nini, tufanye nini. They will speak first, take their voices na unless tukiwa convince hivyo kwamba we are taking power back to them as it is in the Kenya Constitution. I think they will understand. Okay. That's short term. Haifai kuwa leo hivi, ni long term. Iko deep rooted.
Very valid point, Katana there. Jasmine, good morning. She contested in the Kasipul parliamentary constituency in Homa Bay County. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure having your voices here on the show on Fridays. That's why we dedicate this program to you. Shortly, I'll be coming to you.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, you have been following, I'm sure, the conversation.
Yeah.
And you have your own pot of experiences. Many thanks. Asante sana again.
Asante.
Then, Katana is still on you. In reporting back to your the folks, the young Kenyan folks, then between winning back the people, which is now wrestling back that trust, you said this is politically created artificial poverty, which campaign after the other clearly manifests itself when the people say, tupatika kitu kadogo, instead of looking at the main goal and looking beyond Katana, looking beyond Ayaya, or Aoko, or Macharia, or Naomi here. Then you have reported back, yes. Then should more focus be now dedicated and more energies on now the process of completely winning the people back from a political system that has deeply entrenched this poverty na imewafanya watu wakae venye wako, that they can't see the future but they see here kitu kidogo. And how hard would that be in terms of winning it back?
I think like as per now, as young Kenyans, if we are really heading to 2027 with the hopes that we are going to change this country, then we should focus everything. We should even little focus on financial muscles. Personally, I was there. I ran as an independent candidate. I faced countless challenges. Even mobility was a problem. But that's a smaller issue. The biggest issue is to win back the community and the people's heart. Because if we cannot restore the hope, the people will not vote. Because even those people who are voted in Magarini, the first candidate alipata 17,000, mwingine akapata 8,000. Hawa watu wawili, and watu wawili
25,000.
like 25,000 out of 80,000. Hao watu wengine wote hapo nikipiga analysis, yule wa kwanza alipata 17, mwingine 8, wengine wote walipata less than 200. Personally, I come in Nikijon nilipata very minimal votes. Issue ni how pia start they did a campaign na start they were voted in. Like for you to mobilize people to go vote. Sikuambia ati go vote. You have CIBC wanasema you have vote your future. Sasa kule si you have vote your future. Get something, get like hata how wali had like the night before kule a member of parliament hata unasikia MP ama nani like ako kijiji yetu anafanya door to door. Mtu hata amekuja akarendi kwa kijiji ndo like aambie watu waende. So amepeana pesa lakini haitoshi. Lazima amshike ampeleke. So those who won ama those who walipata more than 1,000 votes ni wenye walikuwa na system yenyewe iko na watu wengi. Na watu wengi kila mtu amepewa kijiji achukue watu ni kama kuwalazimisha. So tukitoa hiyo like watu wakwe wanaifanya free win. Hapo ndo tutaanza kurudi sasa the country yenye tunataka. Lakini Kenya imenormalize hizo auctions, elections sana paka imekuwa time watu wanasema mimi hata siendi, mimi hata sitaenda kuvote. How like aje 25,000 out of 80,000 alafu nataka kusema you want to build the nation. How will you build the nation without because one person no matter how bright you are, you can't hata ukue mfalme bright aje. You won't build the country. You have to involve the people in building the country. Ndio maana constitution ikavest much power to the people. Lakini ukitaka kusema I'll build everything like huko kwetu sasa hizi politicians ni kama sponsors. Like anakuja tu anarusha. Kwa hata mwingine mwenye alipata 80,000 votes, si ati haku campaign. Amegawa food all through 4 years kutoka ikuwe nullified. Yeye amekuwa tu anagawa food na pesa. Uite wazee wa vijiji uwape 50,000 wagawanye na uambie go to a village. Like that's not the politics we want. We have to change and get back this community. Like tusifocus na pesa handout. We are losing it.
Thank you. Jasmine, good morning again.
Good morning.
On you, how was Kasipul?
It was a new experience.
Yeah.
And it was also a kind of tough experience. Yeah.
Yeah. We had seen violence in one of the polling stations.
Yeah.
Where the member of parliament of Homa Bay town was assaulted in the full glare of the cameras. Successive elections since 2017 have been very violent for women.
Yeah.
So give us your experience of the campaigns and what were the hurdles in your view before election day?
So I thank God, first of all, because personally, I didn't experience the violence directed towards me. People were receptive when I was, because I know I keep saying I was doing the door-to-door campaign. So that, you know, it reduces the violence because violence, mostly it's when people gather in large numbers. That's what gives a chance to violence. So I was doing the door-to-door, and that one was in itself peaceful. So I thank God the violence wasn't part of my campaign. And my campaign team, we didn't experience that. But being a woman and being a young person, it had its own challenges because number one of the things that the challenges that I had was one convincing people that, you know, for the first time they had a lady in the race, something that they thought was new. So for the first time, you know, convincing them that actually a lady can bring change. And number two, being a young person, also convincing them that a young person can actually take that seat because it's a seat, you know, the MP seat is viewed as something that is given to the more matured people in the society. Yeah, so, and also being that, you know, like I've had my fellow young people saying that, you know, we didn't have the financial muscles as other because, you know, Kasipul was one of those areas that, you know. Yeah. So that one was, mainly those were the challenges that I experienced. Yeah.
Lessons taking forward, 1 year, 1.5 years to the elections, in your view, in the event you will again aspire to throw your bid again to contest in 2027?
Yeah, so the lesson number one is, well, I noticed that, you know, most of our youths, or let's say the Gen Zs as we say, because when we're doing the campaign, if you call for a rally, we are large in numbers. But come the election day, they're nowhere to be seen. So, but I cannot fault them because, you know, especially in the areas that we had the by-elections, Most of them were not registered yet, so maybe because the registration wasn't open in those areas. But now moving forward, like we say, you know, as Gen Zs, when we say we want change, I think it begins with us actually doing something, and that is number one, having that vote, that ability to vote, and number two, actually showing up. So I think lessons learned is number one, start early, because I'm still do the model that I was doing, the door-to-door, and constituency being big, starting early, and just keep pressing on.
Okay. Ayaya, before I was on Katana, what do you think, and this applies to all of you, is the cause of why young people did not turn up in majority in the by-elections first? Because in 2022 as well, a majority, 8 million, did not vote, and they were registered. And do you think, had they come out in large numbers, perhaps you would have won the seat? Because if you look at how George Natembeya, for example, does his campaigns, they speak a lot to the old folks, the women in the village, the old men. Where are the youth other than during the campaign period when it comes to voting? And do you think you'll have an upper hand if they show up in 2027?
Okay, for me, I experienced that because young people did not turn up well because some of them had no voter cards. They were not eligible, but now others had traveled because of their finding the way of their living. And another thing, vijana ndio tuko mbele. In fact, kwa kimitandao tuko mbele sana kufanya kazi yetu kimitandao, lakini sasa tukikuja on the ground we cannot do something resourceful. So unapata most of the time ni hatuna ile, yani ile hari ya uongozi. So unapata vijana nao hakuna venye tunaweza enda mbele without having the right formal education ama civic education. Inastahili tujue for the right leadership, inastahili tukue na kiongozi ambaye pia amepitia changamoto kama vijana. Kwa mfano saizi, most of the youth tumekosea kidogo because we are number one kwa maandamano, tuko number one kwa kutumika, lakini sasa tukikuja kwa ile hali ya kutaka kubadilisha uongozi mzuri, then atupatani pale because tumekuwa na so many rallies na good numbers of people, unapata it is a crowd, but when it comes on the ground, the results unapata yenyewe vijana hatuko kipaumbele kwa kuleta uongozi mzuri. Kama mimi nime experience kitu kama kijana kwa these campaigns, unapata tunasemezana vizuri na vijana na kusupport, tuko nawe pamoja, ni mstari mbele, in case of mkue na ile kupatana pamoja, then unapata by the end of a day hatuko number one kwa mstari wa mbele. Like mimi nime experience that. Unapata wamama ndio sana kipaumbele kukusaidia kwa kukampeni, na pia wanaari vijana tusaidiane kwa vijana wenzetu, at least tuone mbele, because saizi uongozi ni kama inarudi kwa vijana, but sasa hatuwezi ona that vision. Na mimi kama kijana ningelipenda kuambia vijana saizi tuchukue kura, because that is only weapon ya good leadership ya saizi. Once tunaenda kuchukua kura zetu, najua tutapiga kwa wingi na tutachagua ile kiongozi ambao tunataka. Lakini sasa tukisema tu kimitandao tutakuwa pamoja, tunataka good leadership, tunakuwa na maandamano, tunataka good leadership, hatuwezi pata good leadership kama sisi wenyewe hatujajitolea kama vijana kwenda kuchukua kura. Na pia kwa wale wenye ambao hawajabadilisha kura according to their area of jurisdiction ya kupiga kura, na stahili tubadilisha kura zetu, at least tuangalie uongozi wetu ni uongozi gani, na tutafanya hivyo kama tumechukua kura na kuchagua kiongozi ambaye ni bora, sio bora tu kiongozi. That is.
Naomi, so we have talked about then what needs to be fixed as we head into 2027. But two main challenges still remain. Young people not registering, and young people registered and not voting. So how do you go about these challenges?
Okay, for me, I'm a Team Gen Z in Machakos County. We have a group by the name Miwani for Miwani, which is that consists of Gen Z mostly. One, we are doing sensitization, whereby if you have a vote, we have to make sure that you go for voting. And the best way to check if you have voted is through if your finger is marked. Secondly, I'd like to say that since most of the young youth are not registered voters, and now here comes 2027 for the general election, we really, as Gen Z in Machakos, we want to work hand in hand with the IBC. At least they do sensitization, and also they bring the registration service for voting nearer to the mwananchi in our area. So what I'd like to tell the people of Machakos and mostly Mumbuni Northward, mostly the young youth, kura yako, maendeleo yako. And if you don't vote, it simply means that you'll not get development in your area. We have been shouting out here, but it's our time to act. Like you had asked, if today you'll be given a chance and youths have votes, would you be able, will you be eligible to get that seat? Definitely I'd say yes, because the highest population in the country are the young youths. So I'd like to encourage the 18 and above youths in our country, make sure all IB's offices are open for us all. So go to approach those offices, go get your votes. And also it's a pity. You find that even some young youths don't have IDs. So I'd like to encourage, even to those who have lost their IDs, go replace them. And here come 2027, we change our country, because that vote is our voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Jose.
The reason why I think maybe most of these youths did not either vote or participate in these in the just concluded by election is one, I think, is voter apathy, because some of these youths believe that wale viongozi wako, wale vinara wako pale juu ni viongozi ambao wamekuweko tangu jadi. Kwa hivyo wanaona pengine hawa ni wale viongozi hawezi leta mabadiliko ya kisasa. So ndiyo maana pengine tutapata, ndiyo maana pengine mayouth wengine hawakutokea sababu ya mafikira kama yale. Wana believe pengine hata nikichaguana huyu candidate party yake ni ya yule kinara wa ile nyakati zile za kitambo. Na ndiyo maana inakuwa mzuri kwetu sasa kujitokeza ili tuoneshe sisi ndiyo mfano mwema kuanza sasa kuenda mbele. Na mimi nimesema pale nyuma, nimesema nitajitokeza kama champion of change, ili niweze kuwapa yale masomo yanayofaa, the right civic education and the right information in terms of political education, ili tuweze kuwakomboa, waweze kujua na kuamini ya kwamba tunasema ya kwamba siasa ndiyo tunakula na ndiyo inatulisha kila wakati. So ni vizuri pia sisi kama vijana tukubali pia tuweze kuingia katika nafasi hizi za uongozi ama za siasa.
Yeah. And Jasmine, do you think given the number and given the financial muscle that you can project, then young people should form their own political party in your view, or belong to different political parties and push these changes from within? Which do you think is the preferable route as we head to the election?
I would say it's a 50-50, depending on various circumstances. Because, you know, as a young person, you might have the ambition and you want to join the already established parties, but you find that maybe the parties have an already preferred candidate. So then that leaves you with the choice of either going independent or looking for fellow other young people who have the same dreams and forming, they said, maybe the youth's party to push the agenda. That's why I'm saying it's a 50-50 depending on the scenario. If you're chosen by the big parties, then well and good. Then if you still have the ambition and the people also want that change, then I think the best way would go to form the parties or go independent, so long as we bring change to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much do you think of a mind shift, do you think, earlier on, of course, I did put this to your colleagues here,
yeah.
But you are a bit late. Of mindset, do you think can be changed ahead of the next elections? Because the optics are, if you look at the IEBC projections, that it's young people who will be a majority of the voters.
Yeah.
If you look at the country's demography or the population, the young people are the majority. And the future is certainly young, but there needs to be planning, is it?
Yeah.
And winning back the people.
Yeah.
So how do you think that can happen as we head to the elections?
Well, I think if you are going by the IBC projection, I think the main focus for especially us now, the upcoming leaders, the young people, is to do that sensitization, especially to our young people. Number one, we start by sensitizing them and we tell them that chukua kura, because we cannot be on the streets and saying we want change while we don't have what brings the change. So I think the number one thing when we are talking about mind shift is telling them, let's arm ourselves with the voters card. Then from there is before the election, actually, having these meetings, more sensitization as to why not only having the voters card, but also actually on the election day, they come out to vote for the leader that they see will bring change. And I think also something that maybe reason as to why we are not seeing young people coming out to vote, especially uko mashinani, is because, most of them have traveled out for maybe work and also studies. So I think this is also when the sensitization comes in that we are also telling them that in as much as you've gone for study, now this is home. If you want real change back home, when it reaches that time, you can always sacrifice, because the election day is only one day. You can always plan ahead, sacrifice, come back, and bring the real change we want to our people by voting. Yeah, if we start early and plan.
Yeah. Yes, Katana.
I think on that case, for political parties, as my colleague had put it, it's a 50-50, because it's something that can aid in us having that change. Yeah. But in terms of priority scale, you can't say that it's a priority, because if we cannot shift that mind, if we cannot shift the mind of the voters, if we cannot change the election from issue-based, from auction-based to issue-based, then even if we have the best of political parties, I think the country, Kenya, is not hungry for political parties. I think, if I'm not wrong, we are having around 93 political parties, registered political parties, with very good ideologies. When I was hunting for a political party for me to run, I was partly engaging my constituents and partly engaging the party leaders. And there were pertinent questions that I was asking these people. What does your party stand for? For how long has it been there? And who are the visionaries of this party? And for this period that you've been there, what have you done to see that you've actually fulfilled your ideology? But a majority of these people get rattled and they assumed me. And some of them, like they said, we can't discuss much of these things now. Maybe you get into the party, then you will discuss thereafter. Like, it's an issue that I find ilikuwa inaniumiza sana. Nimekuja hapa kula tu basic questions. If hatuwezi agree tukianza hapa, how even will we move forward tukiendelea? Sitafika huko nikupigie nikwambie mambo imekwama huku kuja na useme postpone. Mimi nikaona sasa haina haja. Then I went ahead nikarana as an independent candidate. What I'm seeking from the people, Magarini, nataka their voice, their mandate to represent them. So if I get that mandate, hata watu wa Magarini wanaweza amua which party should I join, ama hata nisijoin, ama nikae mwelekeo gani, because I take command from them. So if we can change that narrative, which best vehicle do I need? We don't need best vehicles. We need best, honest, committed leaders who are reporting directly back to the people. Because some of these political parties have served as political brokers, a broker in the political field. In that once a member of parliament is elected, is highly reporting back to the party leader more than to the people. Like, you can just refresh back in the time of finance bill last year. The members of parliament moved along the country. Wakaambiwa tufanye nini na finance bill. Mimi nilikuwa mbali, siku hata Magarini, nilikuwa Kitale. Niko sure watu wa Magarini walisema hawataki finance bill. Kitale tulisema hatutaki. Hata mimi I went there nikasign sitaki. Paka majority wakasema hawataki. But walipoenda parliament, because of commands, I don't know where the commands come from. Si walisema wanataka. So if this is the democracy that we are now, like, kuna voices zina come from somewhere, hatujui zinatoka wapi, they're not coming from the people. Is there a need for us to have a constitution that is not covering us? Then we should not have the constitution, because we have the best constitution but not covering us. So political parties, they are very much important to have as young people, but not a priority. Let us shift the mind and change the narrative from auction-based elections to issue-based elections.
And do you think that influence of personality, political personalities in Kenya is why we have a parliament that underperforms, rarely prioritizes on wananchi, wase wa chini? And do you think, given the circumstances that we are in at the moment, that this is likely to end and that it's going to be parties driven by ideologies and policies?
For sure, I'm very much sure that some personalities in Kenya, they decide what happens, because as I've said, elections, we elect leaders to represent us, that democracy. But because that system, there's a system that has been created artificially to control who is voted in and what the person who is voted in, how he thinks and how he represents, then that system has really affected and turned how the issues are represented from people to the parliament. So, like, I don't think, like, we have a parliament in Kenya, but halfly it represents the people, but majority of it represent the issue. There's some people, when you highly political class, because they are the owners of the system. Because this system imeundwa more than 20 years ago. Na inafanya hadi saa hii. So for us to win back, your system ni itolewe, na turudi sasa, tuku tunapata mandates, commands from the people. Then ukikuja hapa, we come to the parliament to discuss ideas from independent individuals. Like, kila mtu amekuja anasema, this is what my constituents are saying, wamenituma niseme hivi. Kuhusu agri economy, kwa sababu economy ya Kenya, wamesema tufanye hivi. Mtu mwingine akisema tufanye hivi. Tukicombine, tunapata real time solutions. Lakini saa hizi kuna watu wana command. Kuna vitu mingi sana, tukiona tu zina circulate, kuna decision wamefanya. Some are good decision, some are bad decision. But the source of the decision is not the people. So, mimi nikikampaign nilikuwa nasema, I just want to take that power back to the people.
Okay, yes, Ayaya.
Yeah, as per my view, not just for Kisa East people, but for the Kenya as a whole. You know, for good leadership, it is just matter of composing yourself, knowing what it is meant by having a good leadership. Now, sisi kama wa Kenya na wanarika, inastahili to understand what best we can heal from having a good leadership mwenye atatuongoza. It's just matter of composing ourselves, uniting ourselves, educating ourselves, and giving back to the society civic education. Tujue kwamba with the good leadership inastahili tukue tunajumuika pamoja ama tunakuja pamoja ku understand for the best future. Saizi hatutakaa, lazima tutatoka na tu understand kwamba tunataka uongozi mzuri, na hii uongozi mzuri inatokana na sisi wenyewe kujielewa, sisi wenyewe kutumika. Saizi hatutaki kutumika, tuende pale kituo cha kuchukua kura, tuchukue kura zetu ili tuone uongozi ambao unakuja mbeleni ni uongozi ambao itatufaidi sisi wenyewe kama wapiga kura ama kama wa Kenya. So I just urge upon everyone, Kenya, tujitole na tujue uongozi bora unatokana na sisi.
So Naomi, before we sample the feedback, so quick round of question. Very interesting. I had to save this for this time. How much did you spend during the campaigns? Figure estimate.
Figure estimate.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd say I did it voluntarily.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have money.
Yeah.
I had people who would support me
in
terms of registration to the IBC and also to the party.
Okay.
And would you give me a chance
yes, please,
to explain about the
yeah.
parties?
Yes.
One thing about youths, we cannot form a party simply because they are ORPP.
The Registrar of Political Parties.
Exactly. Yeah. One said that if you have to own a party, you have to include all ages group in that party. So as youths, we are not allowed to have a party unless it's composed of all ages. Yeah.
Okay. Joseph, how much did you spend? Estimate?
Estimately...
T-shirt printing, caps, mugs?
Nice. First and foremost, I vied on a ticket of the Alliance for Real Change Party. Yeah. The founder is Mwalimu Abdubadida, but the current party leader is his second wife by the name Amina Guyo Halaki. Yeah. And because the party has not been in this space maybe for a long time, and in any time they have never had one of their candidates winning any political seat, that means that the party has not been receiving any political parties fund. So the resources were limited. Therefore, I went back to my people at the community level. Yeah. Wale wakanipatia ticket, the Yake party wakanipatia ticket, wakanilipia pale kwa IBC 5,000 shillings. Yeah. But from there things became hard kidogo. Nikawambia no worry, mimi ni mtu wa ground. Yeah. Nikarudi kwa ground, nikaongelesha watu community members wangu. And then through our WhatsApp group, tukaanza ile mambo ya resource mobilization, kupull funds. Mimi nikawaambia, I know tuko in tough economic times. And we will drop some of these items or merchandise like t-shirts, kofia, maybe kuzunguka na gari, ile gari mambo na public address systems. So nikawaambia, the best thing we can do, let us mobilize a few resources pale kwa WhatsApp groups, we pull funds, niweze kuingia kwa ground, nitumie ile strategy mheshimiwa amesema hapa, ile ya meet the people, door to door, na maybe nikiwa na one camera person, na ile kamera naongelea ni ile ya simu. So ule jamaa wangu tu mmoja anaitwa Moha ama Barken, na mwingine pia nilikuwa naye anaitwa Kaila. So those two people walikuwa wana shift. Nikienda na mmoja leo, akinipiga picha nikiongelesha watu, kesho naenda na yule mwingine, ndio kila mtu apate siku yake, riziki yake. Na ilikuwa na impact because people thought I had a team behind me, following me, helping me in terms of maybe publicity and visibility. But it's a strategy I used to its advantage. Nikaweza kukua visible online na pia kwa ground. And then the same WhatsApp group, ile tulikuwa tunaita Team Masha. Pale mtaani ile jina Mashari wanaita Masha. So pale Kariobangi wananiita Masha. So wale wananchi wa pale karibu, CHPs na community members wakashikana. And then wakaweza kupull funds. We bought a few posters na zikaweza kunisaidia nikaweza kupenya. So mimi nashukuru sababu
asante
kwa ya ile mambo ambayo walinishikilia.
Thank you so much. Yes, Jasmine. Expenditure?
So for me, in terms of expenditure, I would say the most I spent was the 10,000 that I registered for as an independent candidate, youths. And from there, I got people who volunteered in terms of posters, in terms of flyers, in terms of shirts, capes, and reflectors. I got people who gave me some of those. And well, Campaign-wise, like I said, I was doing the door-to-door, so no much spent there because it was walking door-to-door, so no much spent there. Yeah.
Yes, Joseph?
Yeah, I forgot to mention, nilisahau to mention, you asked about the estimate.
Yeah.
The estimate was about around 13,000 or 15,000 on the maximum.
Yeah.
Because the posters consumed like 10,000, then I was left with 5,000. That is what I used for the 2 months or 3 months. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So now continuing, for me, like I said, it was 10,000, and the others were people who volunteered. And the door-to-door one really worked well because, you know, I was meeting the people at their comfort level, that is their homes, and asking for them to support me. So I didn't really spend much.
Okay. Yes, Katana.
Me, I won't take much time on this because I still have one word to say.
Yes.
But based on expenditure, I had a team that was volunteering. I had a person who was volunteering as PA, Lawrence, and I had someone, campaign manager, volunteering, Erickson. And also, the Kilifi Gen Z, they came in, contributed, and did one rally for the whole campaign. Yeah. It was their own cost. We spent around 80,000 on that rally. It was a contribution from all aspirants, Kilifi County, 35 MCAs, and some MPs. And much expenditure ilikuwa kukusanya the IDs, it was less than 10,000, na kupiga photocopy because I had to collect IDs na kupiga photocopy. On branding, I never did branding. Mimi nilifanya tu few posters. Sikuona the essence ya kuvaa koti ya nini na baadaye haina change. So nikaona tu I'll do only paperwork. Na pia nilifanya very minimal paperwork. Bala sikuona iko na impact pia. Kitu kingine nilifanya ni kutembea tu around. Kutembea, mimi sikuwa na pia nadi one bob. Nikiwaita kwanza wanajua mheshimiwa anakuja, wanakungoja with expectations. Ukimaliza kuongea wakipiga makofi unaendaje? Na sasa wakiniambia unaendaje, sasa niende na kama bado wanasita, then I open a chapter kuambia it's not about the cash again. So hata wanaongeza time ya nini. So sikutumia sana. So roughly around of 200,000 was spent on my campaign.
Okay.
Yes. The last one, what I have to say to the youths.
Yes, please.
It's tough. I come to report back. It's tough, but it's doable. And nikitu inaweza fanyika. But what we need to do, this is beyond civic education. Because civic education is the right to vote. It's beyond that. We have to restore hope. Now to restore hope, we have long-term commitment to the people. Let's sacrifice. Personally, I've sacrificed my medical career for the change of the community. I was not born to be a politician. Never have I ever thought I'll be in the race. But sasa kuona kila mtu akikuja anakuja because amekuja na kakitu kakupeana. Kila mtu akikuja anakuja kama sponsor. Then I came in independent, clear messaging kusema, I just want to take your voice for one. Na ni convert because there is that pain of living in a constituency, very resourceful, but artificial poverty. Tuko kando kabisa.
Your last word, Ayaya.
Yes, thank you. As I told you earlier, I started my campaign on, that was 2022. Not because whoever we voted in was wrong, but I started by familiarizing with the ground. Now, up to now, the money that I spent, it was a lot of money, though, and I really thank God with the party that I was voted ahead. Napia, though it did not spend a lot to me, but it was part of individuals like Governor the Trans Nzoia Natembeya, who came in and supported me. Na I know it was a lot. Though I cannot quote the money that I spent. Otherwise, what I can urge my youth people, ama my fellow youth, wache tujitume, tungangane na hii safari, though wenye wako na ambition na vision kusimama, ama aspirants, mimi nawatakia kila laheri, wache tujitume tu, though siku rahisi, tuendelee na najua future is best. Let us consider the way of our campaigns, the way of doing. Let us hear from people. Let us make public participation. Just get rid of people's advices, and we will get our best leadership. Thank you.
Yes, Nome.
What I'd like to say is that kusema kweli, if you check what happened during the campaign period, kusema ile ukweli is that you can spend even more than 200,000. The reason as to why I'm saying this is because tuseme kama agents wenye wanaenda kwa voting, kwa polling station, they have to be paid. Transport, you have to roam around, talk to the people. At least unaweza tumia motorbike. Sometime for the road show, lazima utatumia pesa. The PA system, lazima utatumia pesa. But all in all, what I'd urge the young people, no matter how tough it is, we must pave a way through that toughness. There'll always light at the end of the tunnel. So never get disappointed. I experienced most of political party. Some I got denied the ticket simply because I was supposed to support a certain candidate for a certain party. So I'd like to tell the youths that they keep on pressing on. Don't give up. To my fellow women, I know it's quite hard. We experience a lot of bullying, but all in all, let us stay strong and fight for our people. Let us be the voice to our people.
So let's sample the feedback here before we end the show. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. The first one from MC_Rumor says, recently held by elections exposed the ugly truth. Bribery, intimidation and violence. If this is the trend, 2027 won't be free or fair. When IBC trust fades and politics feels like get-rich scheme, democracy suffers. Frank says, by-elections reminded us why civic education matters. Majority still don't understand their rights, the process and the weight of their voice. Until we invest in awareness, misinformation and manipulation will keep winning. An informed citizen is harder to deceive. Bob Otiono says one major problem faced by the Gen Z's contestants is in the just concluded by-elections was money. They were all financially crippled and they came up too late with little known political parties. Gen Z's should come together, form their own political party and mobilize resources in order to have an impact come 2027 elections. They have learned a lesson from the famous Swahili saying, mkono mtupu haulambwi. Frank says Gen Z skipped by-elections out of frustration, distrust, non-eligibility and a feeling that voting does not change anything, but stepping back guarantees nothing changes. Power feels a vacuum. If we want different outcomes, we must show up, vote and defend the future. Many thanks for your time, Jasmine. Appreciate it. Asante sana. Looking forward to hosting you again. Katana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aya, thank you so much. Naomi, thank you so much. Jose, thank you so much. Much appreciated for your time here. Always a pleasure hearing from young voices and their aspirations for our country. And thanks to you too for waking up with us here on the broadcast. The hashtag on X as ever is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Thank you for your company during the week-long Daybreak conversations here on Citizen Television. Good morning.